Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most incredible, high-stakes ballets happening inside your body right this very second. It's this constant, invisible struggle to keep your cells from either shriveling up or, well, bursting. You know that feeling, right? One day you feel great, totally hydrated, and the next you're absolutely parched. Or maybe you feel kind of puffy and bloated. Ever wonder what's really going on there? It seems simple, but the reality is way more complex. Well, those feelings, they're just the tip of the iceberg. They're the outward signs of an internal, life-or-death balancing act. Your body is constantly, and I mean constantly, managing its water levels. So let's dive into how this incredible system actually works.
To really get a handle on this, we're going to look at two total opposite scenarios. What happens when your body loses way too much water, and then what happens when it gets overloaded with it.
Okay, so this lays out the problem perfectly. First, a couple of quick terms. ECF is your extracellular fluid. Think of it as all the water outside your cells, like in your blood. ICF is the intracellular fluid, so the water inside your cells. And osmolarity, that's basically just how salty or concentrated that fluid is. So look at the left side. Sweating in a desert. You lose water, right? So the volume of fluid outside your cells drops. To try and balance things out, water gets pulled from inside your cells, so their volume shrinks too. Meanwhile, your blood gets saltier and your blood pressure goes down. Now flip to the other side. If you gain too much water, the exact opposite happens. Both the fluid inside and outside your cells expands, which is super dangerous. Your blood gets diluted, less salty, and your blood pressure spikes. So how in the world does your body stay on this tightrope? Moving water around is one thing, but how can cells possibly move it fast enough to stop these situations from becoming a total catastrophe? The answer, it turns out, was a revolutionary discovery. And here they are. Meet the aquaporins. These are not just simple holes in the wall. No, they are incredibly sophisticated protein channels built into your cell membranes for one main reason: to move water and to move it unbelievably fast. And this is the perfect way to think about them. The discovery of these things was worthy of a Nobel Prize because they are, quite literally, the plumbing system for all of life. They create this organized, high-speed flow of water exactly where it needs to go, when it needs to go there. And when I say high speed, get this. A single one of these aquaporin channels can shuttle up to 1 billion water molecules every single second. 1 billion. It's a rate of transport that's just almost impossible to imagine. So how do they work so perfectly? Well, the genius is in the design. They form this tiny, perfect, hourglass-shaped tunnel. It's so narrow that water molecules have to literally line up and pass through one by one in single file. And this elegant structure is the key. It lets water molecules zip through, but it physically blocks anything bigger. And most importantly, it blocks charged ions like sodium and potassium. And that separation is absolutely vital. Why is it so vital? Because just controlling the plumbing isn't enough. Water is passive. It just follows dissolved stuff, like salt. So to really, truly control water, a cell has to first control its ions. Now, you might think a cell just kind of lets ions settle wherever they want into a simple passive balance. But if that happened, water would just rush in and our cells would swell up and pop. But your cells are anything but passive. The crucial point here is that they use an incredible molecular machine called the sodium-potassium pump to actively burn energy all day, every day, to push ions around and maintain this powerful electrical gradient. A cell that's at rest isn't at equilibrium at all. It's in a constant high-energy state of readiness. And you can actually measure that readiness. For a typical neuron, the charge difference across its membrane, that's its resting potential, is about -70 millivolts. This isn't some random number. It's the electrical power grid of the cell. It's stored energy just waiting to be used to fire signals and run the entire machinery of life. So we've got the plumbing, the aquaporins, and we've got the power grid, the ion gradients. But what's coordinating all of this across the whole body? Well, that job belongs to the brain and a very special hormone. This whole process is called the ADH feedback loop, and it's just beautiful. ADH stands for antidiuretic hormone. So here's how it works. Let's say you're getting dehydrated. Your brain sensors detect that your blood is getting a little too salty. That's the trigger. The brain then releases ADH, which travels all the way to your kidneys with a simple message: hey, conserve water. The kidney cells get the message and respond by putting more of those aquaporin 2 channels into their membranes. With more channels open, more water gets pulled out of the urine and back into the blood. And just like that, you're back in balance. And this brings us right back to the beginning. This entire system is so precise, so vital, that when it fails, The results are immediate, and they're dramatic. Look at these two conditions. They're two sides of the same coin. On one side, diabetes insipidus. The problem here is with ADH. Without that signal, the kidneys don't install the aquaporin channels, so they just can't reabsorb water. The result? Unbelievable thirst and huge amounts of very dilute urine. On the flip side, you've got SIADH, where the body makes way too much ADH. Now the kidneys go into overdrive, reabsorbing far too much water. This leads to bloating, dangerously low sodium in the blood, and really concentrated urine. It's the perfect demonstration that life really does exist on a razor's edge.
You know, when you think about it, from the atomic precision of a single aquaporin channel to the elegant feedback loops that span your entire body, every single part has to work in perfect concert. It's this constant energy-hungry process that reveals a fundamental truth about being alive. Life isn't a state of rest. It's a dynamic, delicate, and totally unending dance with the laws of physics.